Hello, this is your host Tahmid again. Today I'm going to talk about Ansible again. This will be my second lecture on Ansible. Now, in my first lecture, I talked about why Ansible is required. Okay, what is the Ansible? Why you need Ansible? Okay, what is the main purpose of this automation? Okay. Then I discuss about what is Ansible, okay, and some other feature. I tried to give you a glance of architecture part, try to explain that. And last but not the least, I showed you the process of installing the Ansible. Okay, I actually followed this step. This step is very simple. Like, you have to have the register, like subscription manager enable, and you have to enable one subscription manager for Ansible. Okay, and once this Ansible is there, and you have to just follow installation with yum install Ansible. That's it. So this is pretty simple. Today I'm going to show you installation process of Ansible in another ways with Python. Okay, this was my first machine, okay, where I had installed that Ansible before. Okay, now you can see the config file is showing etc ansible.cfg. Now if you install with Python, then this config file will not exist. Okay, in that case you have to manually create that. This is the only difference. So that I will show you hands-on after some times. Okay, so this is my machine where I'm going to install that. Okay, definitely you need Python for that, and Python requirement is same. It is you need Python 3.5 or later, and Python 2.7 or later. Okay, here it is. So to install with pip, we have to run this command, pip install user -1 user Ansible. Okay, so here, as I'm using this is my AWS node in 8.4 again, and I'm using which pip. Here pip is not here, so it is actually which pip 3. So to pip 3 install -user Ansible. Okay, what's wrong? Okay, so I am installing. Okay, with this command, and let's wait for a few minutes to complete. So let's pause my video for a few minutes, okay, until it is done. Then I'll again resume. Installation complete. See, so using pip3, it has installed the latest version, and see, now it installed two packages, Ansible 4.1.0 and Ansible Core 2.11.8. okay, we'll discuss on this material in brief later on, but let's see the version name. See, his version is showing to Ansible Core version is 2.11.8. That the main thing that I told before the installation. See, there is no installation config file. Let's check which Ansible. Okay, being Ansible is there. Let's check under etc Ansible folder is there or not. So Ansible folder is not available. Okay, under etc ls-lrth Ansible, nothing. So what we can do, we can create one folder and make directory Ansible. Okay, and then let's go into the directory and we can create sudo ansible.cfg. Sorry, ansible sudo touch ansible.cfg. Okay, now let's do it. Showing that now. Let me create make directory host. Sorry, touch host file. Okay, again I have to create. I'm from the sudo user, so I have to use sudo command here, ls, and now let's run the command for Ansible version. Okay, see, and now it is showing the Ansible CFG full version is etc ansible.cfg. If I go to my master node here, see here main default directory is etc, then Ansible and Ansible.cfg. Now it is showing same way. What will happen if I go to the root directory and if I run let me go to the root directory pwd and let me run the command ansible ---- version again, and you can see it is still showing this folder. That means this is the default directory. The reason I am saying that, I want to show you something here. Suppose I am creating another folder called Ansible prod. Okay, now again permission denied. I have to use the sudo command, and then then let me go to the directory ansible.prod. Okay, ls nothing is there. Then let me create sudo touch ansible.cfg. Okay, now if I run the command ansible ---- version, now see the configuration directory has changed. It is showing ansible prod.cfg. Where I am now, pwd. In this folder I have created one cfg file. So if you are working from some directory and if in that directory ansible.cfg file exists, then by default Ansible will use that configuration file or that cfg file. Okay, to prove that, if I go outside from the directory, okay, pwd present working directory is not Ansible prod anymore, and if I run the command ---- version nsable version, now you can see,
so now it is
again it is showing the default directory.
configuration
So
file for
manually creating
from etc
when
ansible
so this is the default directory. Okay,
It should
so
be clear
it is
to you now
always default
by the time,
although
because
it was not there
as you
after
can
the
see
installation
already,
from the
when I
pip.
have run the command
So
from
from pip
Ansible
you might
directory, it is
face this
showing
issue.
that
So
default
I
directory of
just
configure
want
file
to
from
explain
that
that
specific directory.
so that you
And
will
now
be
when I
aware of
have
it,
actually
and I have also
run the same
explained
command from
how
root,
we will
now it is
run
showing
that
the default
cfg file
one.
from the different directory.
Okay,
This is also
so
important,
this is
like
the
I have
end
run
of
from
my
ansible
first
prod.cfg
portion
file,
where I
right?
have talked
Now I will
about
start
the Ansible
working on
default
the
configuration
other
file part,
part,
and
like
also I have talked about
I'll
how you
explain
can
some
install
Adhoc command. Okay,
Ansible using
Adhoc command details
Python
with you
command. Okay,
my next part.
it
Okay,
should be clear to you
so I
now.
hope
In
you
my
have
second portion, I will
learned
briefly explain
something.
about
It is
Ansible inventory file and
if
Adhoc
you
command. Okay,
still
I
have
will
some problem,
try
I
to show
will
you
ask you to
both side by side. I
again
will explain both
watch
side by
the video
side,
from the
because
beginning again.
without showing
It will
side
get
by
clear.
side,
Okay,
it
and
will
even
not
if
be
you have any issues, you can actually
clear to you. Okay,
definitely comment.
so it will be much
Also, I
easier
have
for
one
you to
Facebook group. I will
understand both
attach
one,
that link.
both
Okay, you can go and ask
Adhoc
the
and
question. I will
Ansible
try my
command
best
part.
to
Okay,
help you out there. Okay, so
okay,
let's move
thank
on
you.
and start work. For testing purpose, I created one lab. Okay, in this lab I have 1 2 3 4 5 machine, as you can see from my screen. I have one master node. Okay, and I have 4 other managed node. Okay. Now if I can ping, these machines are not power on right now. Check. Yes, it is not power on yet. So let me power on my machine and start working on that part. Let me explain.
Here you can
the
see the Ansible
part,
command, like Ansible
Adhoc command.
syntax
So
by
Adhoc
default I have
command is
mentioned here.
one-liner
So first
Ansible
it is
command
Ansible,
that
then minus
perform
an
one
inventory
task
file.
on
What is inventory
the
file?
target
Inventory
host.
file is nothing but where you have
Now,
mentioned all the management information.
Adhoc
Okay,
command will
then
have two parameter: the
in
group of the
which group
host
or which
that you want
server
to
you want
perform
to
the
apply
task
the
and the
Ansible
Ansible
command,
module
okay, or
to
run
run.
the
I will explain
Ansible
everything
command
here. See,
for
there is a
for
syntax
the Adhoc
Ansible.
command, and
Now I
then
can
minus
use
m and
all,
module,
or I
and
can
then
use
other command.
minus I
This is
inventory
same,
file.
okay,
Here
for
I can mention the
everything or every other like for the Ansible command
inventory
part.
file where
So it
the
is nothing
information
but
of the
one
managed node
liner code,
is
and
there,
it will have two
and
parameter definitely.
here I can mention
One
like which
is
server I
the
want to
group of a
run, or
host
which
that
group
will
I want to
perform the
run,
task, and the
or I
Ansible
want to
module
run. I
where
want to
you
run in all
will run this
nodes. Okay,
command. Okay,
there is a command for minus "m", then I can use a module, and there is the
so
option
let's
for
start.
using minus "a" argument. Now this is my master home node. Okay, so this is my host file, and if I ping my host, it is reachable, right? Now if I have to check the other host file, again I have to ping separately. Now as you can see here, I have 1 2 3 4 managed node. Okay, this is my actual hosts. Okay, this is not the Ansible host file or inventory file. Okay, so if you see, I have created a separate directory under home.devops.ansible.com. I have created user DevOps. I will explain later, just after explanation of Adhoc command and also explanation of that inventory part. What is inventory? Then I'll go. I'll let you know why I have created a separate user for DevOps. Okay, this is very important. When you will use you will have to um, think about your production environment, how you will deploy and run. Okay, so that is very important. I'll explain it after a few minutes. So here you can see I have created one Ansible.cfg in a different directory. So if I run Ansible -minus version sorry, due to fast typing, so it is showing the config file is this one, right? So the default inventory file for this location is hosts file. Okay, HOTS. You can create another host file from different name, like inventory2 I have created, which you can mention by -i inventory2 with the Adhoc command. Okay, and let me create another host file, inventory file, touch host. Okay, touch touch space host, and let me add some host as well. I'm adding 172.16.1.29 and 172.16.1.130. See, now, so when I was after I start all the host file, okay, I was checking by one ping. But if you have this host file already added in your inventory file, this is the inventory. By default, inventory is hosts. Okay, if you go and check cat in Ansible.cfg5, Ansible.cfg grep inventory, you will see this is the by default host file. Okay, let me go to my actual directory, etc Ansible and Ansible okay, cat grep inventory. Yeah, so this is the actual by default host file or inventory file. Okay, inventory file, not a host file, sorry, inventory file. where all the host or management information is, you will add it. You will add all the managed inventory information. What is inventory? Inventory defines a collection of hosts that Ansible will manage, right? These hosts can also be assigned to group. I'll let you know what is group here, which can be managed collectively. Groups can contain child group. Hosts can be member of that multiple groups. Okay, and hosts can be member of that multiple group. Inventory can also set variables that can apply hosts and groups that it defines. Let it be. I will explain one by one. So first I will check once. I will check running Ansible all minus m ping. Here minus m is module. I'm doing the p. I'm actually calling ping module. Now I can see all the hosts are showing reachable from this particular command, right? So it is actually calling this host file. Host is actually this host is actually the inventory file. Okay, this so this inventory file it is calling when I am using Ansible all means from this host, all from this inventory, all host it is actually calling. Now if I change the inventory file from the cfg file, and I have created one host file, right, if you remember, and there only I have two host file. Okay, now I will do what, I will run same command. Okay, but I will mention now what let's see what happens. See, now it's only pinging this two node only. So now host file is changed from the configuration layer, right? Here if I want to again run or manually I want to mention, now there is another command I have mentioned earlier, if you remember, by minus I command I can mention separate host file. Even if there is a default file, then it will not count that. I'm mentioning that same like hots file, inventory file again, and I am running the same command all and minus m module ping. Then let's see what happens. Now it will, or it should, yeah, yes, it is showing like it is pinging all four from that particular inventory file, hosts inventory file, right? Okay, so you can use the, you can change the host file from .cfg file, or you can change it from the command line itself with minus I command. So there is one another command for verifying the inventory. Okay, like minus list host command. What actually it is doing, suppose you have one host. Okay, so as I know cat, this host has two file. If I want to verify it, so I have to give the command minus host all minus list host. Now it will show what are the hosts already there in this node. Okay, again if I run the command for hosts, it will give all the hosts, four host file here is there. So this is how you can verify the inventory file. Now let us explain. You have some idea what is Adhoc command. We can do so many tasks with that Adhoc command. I'll come back to it later. So let's talk about inventory file first. Okay, so here in inventory file you can use either IP address or by these host names, right? So you can see web1.example.com, web2.example.com, or the IP address. Let us check. See, if I add this host 4 here in my vi, sorry, okay, host 4.example.txt file, this is my host name and host, it is added. Now if I run the command, see it is verifying this host is all exist. Now run the with the module minus mp, it will work, right? Now suppose you have 4 or 5 nodes. Now it's fine, you can manage it in this way, right? Now you have web server, you have transaction server, you have database server, or you have so many other server for some different reason or different application purpose, right? Now in that case it is very difficult to manage and maintain or remember all to uh, manage and maintain by single IP. So you can manage it by group. Okay. Also for web server, maybe there are some different packages you need to deploy. For transaction server, you have different packages to deploy. For DB server, you have different packages to deploy. So this purpose is not different. So with the purpose wise, you can also use the groups. Here you can see you can organize, manage hosts. Host group allow you to more effectively run Ansible against a collection of systems. In this case, each section start with a host group name enclosed in square bracket. This followed by the host name or IP address of each managed host in the group and each on the single line. In the following example, the host inventory defined two host group, web server and DB server. So see, here it is doing the two group, web server and DB server, right? Now in my host file, okay, I have already created one group. So you can see we have transaction txn group. In that group we have first bracket is actually the square bracket. Here within the square bracket you have to mention it. See, square brackets, and within I have named the group name. This is the group name. I've created another group for web and I've created another group for database. Right now, if instead of this hosts, if I mention txn minus I hosts file, means I'm pointing out this hosts for inventory and I'm pointing out this group. If I run the command, see, you can see it is pinging 129 and 130 only, right? So even you can verify the host file, what is under the txn. You can verify the same command with minus list. Under web there are one IP address. You can verify under database DB the one IP address, right? Another thing you can do, like you want to run web and DB. See, now it is saying we have two files, like 131 and 132. Again with the colon. Okay, now if I mention txn here, so you can see the first host it is showing the first four host. Same way you can ping that ping and you can get the result. Okay, let me done for your assembly. See, it's working. So I hope inventory part is clear. There is another concept of defining nested group under the inventory file. So here you can see it has created USA, Washington.example.com, Washington2.example.com, Canada is another group, Ontario.example.com, Ontario2.example.com, and they have created a nested group which is North America, and this is the main part, like they have mentioned this is a child group, okay, colon child. So this is accomplished by creating a host group with colon children suffix. This is the suffix we're using. And same way, if I show you here, get host, okay, suppose I have add prod app, then suffix, this suffix colon and children, and I have mentioned txn and web. So if I calling hosts prod app, so it is calling 131, 129 and 30. Let's check the 129, 30 and 131. And is it working for, yeah. So for that, if I listing the host file, it is showing under this child inventory, or under this host, this group, we have 3 hosts. Fine. This is all about the Ansible static inventory part. It has dynamic inventory as well. Suppose you have you are working with the inventory with AWS, and you might have to use that dynamic inventory there. So I'm not going to talk about that now. See, this DevOps is actually a sudo user in my master node. Sudo so. See, and it is not even asking for password. Why is that? Because see, suppose I'm doing SSS to 129. Okay, then if I go back and if I doing SSS to 130, it is not even asking the password, right? Now here, if I go back to root user and I'll go to the home Ansible DevOps, okay, Ansible project, and if I run the command Ansible minus I hosts, and I'll do the command host and all module and ping. You will see what will happen. It is saying it is unreachable. Interesting, right? From the DevOps it was working, and from the root it is not working. Why? Because it is trying, when I'm pinging, I'm trying to reach those hosts, it is now trying to reach from this root user. And from the DevOps, when I was running command from the DevOps user, it was trying to reach from that DevOps user only. And in DevOps, what happened in DevOps, we have SSH authentication enabled, and it is also sudo user. That's why it is not asking for password. Now here you can mention the variable I'll explain later on. So here inventory.txt, okay, I have created one host, and that host it is 130. Okay, let me try running this command whether it is working or not. Okay, see, now host file is success. Why? Because I have mentioned the Ansible pass. Ansible pass I have mentioned for this specific directory, it is root@123. So password is mentioned, and so I have created a host 1 inventory. Then I have mentioned the Ansible host. This is one object. So here I have mentioned the IP. Then I have mentioned the password. So there is another way, like cat hosts. Okay, so Ansible minus I host, and I'll do minus all minus m ping and minus b, sorry, minus k. Now with the minus k command, it is asking for password. Okay, so password it is asking, and what is happening here? This is this, you can see this host, right? 132. Now with the password, it says root at the rate, and if I mention this IP, permission denied, because direct root access is not enabled in this machine. If I use the DevOps, it is working. So for that reason, here if I have mentioned the password for same password for all managed node, right? And that's why the password which was work, it's a 130, 131, and 110, it was same. So it was showing success. Even it is reachable, the password is not correct for that node. Also, the user is not correct. So this it is showing failure or unreachable. Okay, and it's showing change is false. Now if you see inventory.txt file, I have mentioned host 2 as a 132, which was not reachable at some point. Okay, it was failed. Now I have mentioned in inventory file, this is a variable, okay, Ansible user. So with the username DevOps, also I have given the SSL password as DevOps, and the previous the 130 I have given the SSL pass as well as Ansible user. Okay, it is root. So if I run the command now, Ansible -i inventory.txt all -m, and now you can see this host one is reachable. So okay, so these are all some nitty-gritty of the inventory file. I hope you understand everything. So before talking about more about the Adhoc command, let me explain you in brief about that passwordless authentication. Okay, this is required because without passwordless authentication, it's very difficult to manage your node when you have big environment. Okay, and also you need to apply pseudo privilege on the particular user. Okay, see, let me show you. Let me sudo DevOps now. Okay, and I'm so here I'm changing the default host to host file, default inventory to host. Okay, where all the managed nodes is mentioned. Then I'm checking with the default. I'm verifying the host file whether it is working or not. Yes, now it is taking the default like HOTS hosts for inventory file. Okay, where all the inventory name is mentioned. Now if I run command Ansible all -m shell and cat /etc/host, like I'm trying to see the host file entry from all the managed node. Okay, but okay, there are some error. What happened? Yes, I mistakenly not given. I didn't. Let's see. I have to add -a, right? An argument after a module when I'm giving some other command. Like this is the argument I'm giving to where I want to see, from where I want to see from the shell, all from all managed node. I want to see the it is a host file. So it should be hosts s, and if I run the command, yeah, it is giving me it is a host from all the managed node, all 4 managed node, and it's working for perfectly fine.
Okay.
See, um, let me log into 129. Okay, it says 129. Now here what I do, if I run vi sudo, okay, here what I did in all node for this DevOps user, for the DevOps particular user, I have given all privileges. Okay, see DevOps, this is user rooted like root, I have given all, and also I have given no password, like it is not required to, it will not ask for the password. Okay, and it is with the all privilege. Okay, this is the privilege I have given for all. So if you add this privilege for any user, then it will have the root like privilege, and it will not ask for a password, and you will have all the privilege like root user. Now if I remove this privilege for this DevOps user from this node, suppose I'm removing this and I am saving this one, this is IPAS, this is the machine of 129, right? Now I'm exiting and I'm running that shell command cd home DevOps Ansible. Okay, I was in that 129 directory. Now if I go to the Ansible directory again, and if I see the host file for 129 Ansible, it is reusable, right? I didn't show that command before. With the Adhoc command Ansible and the specific host, only I'm using one host. Okay, so I'm not mentioning here is already mentioned in this inventory file, and I'm just calling that host file directly, and I'm pinging. Now if I run that shell command here, shell, let's check shell, then I'll give the argument is what, first colon cat etc hosts. Let's check.
Okay, so host file is readable. Like by default, host is readable. So that's why you get the input here. Let me try to do some other with some other command. Like let me create some file under etc. Okay, with the copy module. So I'll write some, I'll create a file, and I as well as I'll write something in that particular file. Like the command is here, Ansible IP -m copy -a, that argument. Then I'm include, I have included content, okay, under double quotation. Then content equal to, I am writing the content of that file, hello, this is test from master. Okay, I have given /n so that it will show the next line output. Okay, like, and also enter. Then I have mentioned destination, dest equal to etc hello.txt. So it should create hello.txt file in 129 node. Also it should, okay, create some create that content, but see, it is showing permission error. Why it is showing permission but not permission? Because uh, if you remember, I have removed that sudo privilege from that particular node, right? So it is showing missing sudo password, and it is not giving me, it is not allowing me. Now if I run the same command in 130 node, okay, it is actually, now it is created successfully. But even I have sudo privilege, I need to mention -b after the command. Like it, if I don't mention the -b, it will also give it will also show the same error, okay, that I get from the 129. So when I'm mentioning -b, then it will run that command as a sudo in that particular node. See, in 130 node it is successfully created. Okay, -b is successfully created here. So you got it right. So I think it is clear now. So here I'm again assigning that sudo privilege in that particular folder, sorry, particular file, okay, for that particular user.
Let me create one username, automation. Okay, let me give the name, give the password of the in host2. Remember what I'm trying to show here. I'll show you what you need to, how you will create that SSL-less authentication in between the node. Okay, so here into etc host file, if I, so first you need to generate the keys in. So for that, automation cd etc home cd home. So user automation is created here. Okay, so here for this user permission is not, oh sorry, yes, pwd. Now so root, and I go to automation user, and for automation I have to generate some keys in. Enter. Okay, generation of keys in is complete. So now .sss file is created. Under the .sss file there are some directory public key and private key is also created. Now let's log into the etc. It is host2, so let's log into the host tree. This is root. Now same way, let me create another automation user here. Let me give the password, set the password. Okay, so automation, let me check. Yeah, so now let me log out from here, and to create that so with that it has that automation, right? So 130 SSH automation at the rate, let me log in from here. Yeah, login success. Okay, so to create the SSH-less authentication, you have to type command SSH minus copy ID, and you have to put this automation at the IP address. Okay, now it is asking for the password. Okay, now password is done. Now from this user, if you try to logging into that machine again, it will log in automatically. See, so this is the process, this is the way you can you can actually create SSH-less authentication in those machines, in 2 machines or 4 machines or 5 machines. The same way I have created these SSL authentication from the DevOps user, okay, in my master node. And also in all server from the vi0, I have given that privilege. What privilege I have given? So this privilege was given to all node for that particular user. So remember that, okay.
Here another important command is Ansible doc, okay, -l. Ansible -doc space -l. It will print all the module in this particular node. So Ansible doc to view documentation of particular module by name and find information about what arguments that module take as option. Okay, let's see that.
Like ping, because there are multiple option. I check, I like, if I grep shell, it is there, right? If I grep copy, it's shell execute shell command on target, copy files to remote location. If I type ping, try to connect, verify user Python, verify usable Python return p. So like it is. So all the thing, all the like if with this command you can actually view all the module part, okay. And for the particular module, if you want to see the documentation, you can type ping. Example, the Ansible website minus ping, that we were doing it. Like if I run the command shell, let's see what happened. There are multiple parts, like you can execute, create, okay, with the shell command, remove. So all the thing is mentioned here. Even it is showing some playbook part as well. If you are using a playbook and how you will use that, like that also it is showing here. So all the documentation is here. You just have to check it. Okay, like maybe it is taking, it will be a little bit confusion how you will use and what you will use. But if you go through the documentation and everything one by one, and if you search the Google, what according to your need, you will get the details. Like if you want, like you can search, I want to ping the module or I want to execute some command, you will get the details, okay, one by one. This is a very easiest method I am just telling you, but this is what it is. So no need to worry about. Now it is doing what it is doing. It is creating a user, okay, with a newbie. Newbie user, okay, with the in this particular host. Let us try this command, Ansible -m user, and this is the argument, okay. So we will run this command in this way. Okay, I'm using the host file, I'm using the txn group, and I'm running the command, and I'm using sudo privilege. You need sudo privilege to run the command. If I run without sudo privilege, run the command, sorry, I run the command absent part, it should be present. See, it is showing so I just it is showing the permission denied. Another thing, you can see the Ansible effect. It is always search for the Python. Like if that you manage node doesn't have the Python, it will not run the command. okay, and RC, the change is 1. So it is not request change, it not happened. If we run the command with B, also the permission has denied with the user command. Okay, now it is showing success. Okay, request success, RC success, everything is success. User add also group, everything is there. Now let us check whether it is fine or not. And let us log SSH to this machine and check user cat etc passwd newbie with the 4000. If I so already this user is created, right? Okay, exit, and now if we want to remove, you just have to mention the from state present to absent and it will remove the user from the particular. So it is also success. Change is done, change is true, means it is success. Let me log into this machine again. Here I have logged into this machine and check passwd. See now that Navy is not present. Okay. So this is how you can actually use to sorry, I used the wrong command here. Here I have, there is no space, but here I have mentioned the space. Now it is success. So automation is also deleted from those two particular nodes. Okay. So using this command you can remove those user as well from those network. Okay, so this is Adhoc command. So my main objective is to give you some idea about the Adhoc command, how it work. Okay, use for Ansible. I have also explained the inventory file details in my video in this lecture as well. So in brief, so I hope you have some idea now. So you know how to run Adhoc command, you know what is inventory, what is static inventory, okay, and what is group, okay, for that particular inventory, and how to use those inventory in your command line, in your Adhoc command. So in my next lecture I will definitely explain more Adhoc command, like I will explain copy module, I will explain file module, I will explain shell and command. I will try to explain difference between shell and copy module. Now to if you want to learn Ansible, definitely you need to practice. So if you practice in your local environment, if you create some VM and practice all the command I have shared, I have showed, your concept will be clear. Okay, because I have showed every possible thing that is required in very briefly. Okay, so it will definitely help you. So I hope you will see my next video, you will subscribe my channel, and you will stay tuned. Till then, stay tuned. Bye bye.